It seemed like throughout the days we were out here that you really were making an effort to stave off complacency.
Yes.
Bringing guys up in the midst of practice.
Yes.
And just how important is that based on what y'all did last year? And will that continue to be the theme?
That most certainly is the theme, Joe, and not necessarily based on what we did last year as much as what trying to figure out what happened to the teams that went to the Super Bowl, weren't as successful as you want to be, and how they struggle to get back. And the one thing I found is that people talked about that they didn't want to be complacent. They were they kind of let some things slip and slide. So I've tried to take that away. I've tried to make sure we had a sense of urgency. I wanted to constantly remind that the season's coming fast. I wanted to make sure the guys understood the significance and importance of what we're doing right here and now. And so that's why it's the theme, and that's why going into training camp I'm going to continue to push that.
Will you do anything over the next 5 weeks to remind them? You've got the countdown.
No, unfortunately I can't because of the rules. It's one of those things. It's the dead period, so I can't remind them. If one of you guys just happened to say I talked to Coach Rivera and he'd remind us how many days are left to go, I'm fine with that. But seriously, if I could, I would. But we had a nice conversation this morning, in the team meeting room. As the guys are getting ready to come out and practice, and then I finished it up with the team meeting at the end here. So I believe the guys understand the message, the importance of coming back ready to roll and taking nothing for granted.
Ron, is it important for these guys to kind of get away from football for a little bit?
Yes.
Decompress a bit?
Yes, and in all honesty, that's part of the reason why we started a week later and I took a week out of OTAs and minicamps this year. And now I think we had really what amounted to I thought 12 really good practices. I was very pleased with what we got from our guys. I thought there were a lot of positives, a lot of pluses. And when you're returning for the majority of your guys, the core of your guys, and you see them pick up where they left off in terms of knowing what's going to happen, anticipating what's going to happen, making plays the way they did, you feel good about that. So I was excited about that group and really pleased with them.
What did you learn about this team, Ron? What did you learn about this team?
I think that they're eager, they're anxious, they're excited about the opportunity, the challenge that's before us. I mean, and that's one thing that has happened in the last 3 years. I think this group of young men have accepted the challenges and they've fought through and they've been able to be successful. So this will be a big challenge as we get ready for the 2016 season.
Cam said that a lot. They don't need to. You guys don't need to, but they're playing with a chip on their shoulder for coming into the season. How do you think that would benefit him, or how do you think he is playing with that, given all the success that he still had last year?
Well, I mean, we're a very prideful bunch, and again, doing what we do, accomplishing what we did, that's great. But again, we know that the ultimate goal wasn't completed, and I think that more so than anything else is what drives us. If you want to consider the chip on the shoulder, then so be it. I mean, it's fair to, because again, the ultimate goal is to win it, not just to get there, but to win it, and we didn't accomplish that. And I think that's what's going to drive us as we go forward.
We always have high expectations, and yet around the league, everybody's going to be looking and having high expectations for how we all deal with that, and that is a little different from.
Yeah, I mean, but again,
years.
the key is you said everybody else.
Okay.
It's really, and it's one of the things that I've talked to guys is, don't let anybody else's expectations exceed yours.
Okay.
And so, that's going to be the attitude we carry. Our expectations should be where they are and what they are, and we'll worry about ours as opposed to theirs.
Ron, when you talk about battling complacency, I mean, nobody wants to be complacent. None of these Super Bowl teams come back and they don't play well. Are you studying anything that they've done? I mean, how do you battle?
What I've tried to do is look at what was written back then, and what was said. And you're right, nobody wants to be complacent, but it happens, and it's my job, it's our coach's job, it's the players' jobs to hold each other accountable and not accept being complacent. So we have to do that. We have to be accountable for our situation, our set of circumstances, and at the end of the day, if we sit and go, we didn't take them serious, that's on me. I mean, that's absolutely on me. So I understand that, and that's what I'm trying to get across to those guys, is that we can't go into any game, can't go into any situation, set of circumstances thinking, we got this, or after it's over saying, well, we didn't take it serious. I mean, that's like I said, is on me, and I got to be accountable for that.
Coach, I apologize if you already went over this, but what was the message to your team when you broke today?
But the biggest thing, more so than anything else, is we got to come back ready to roll. That's the biggest thing. Is the season's right around the corner. Everything you do from this point on out is about preparation, preparing, for that game that's coming up in about 84 days. So we have to be ready to roll.
Ron, do you know of any of your injured guys who would not be ready for the start?
As of right now, Joe, I think everybody's going to be ready to start. We may bring some guys in a limited situation in terms of reps and build them up. But for the most part, and talking to RV and RV, I don't think there is anybody that won't be ready to do something in some fashion or some capacity.
Would
Got time for one or two more.
Benet, Luke, and Kelvin be in that limited group?
I don't anticipate them. I really don't, Joe. My understanding is that they'll be ready to go now. Will we handle each guy differently? Yes, most certainly on individual cases and situations based on injuries. Yes, Luke with the shoulder, Benet with the ankle, and Kelvin with the knee. So each one of those guys will have a plan going forward. They'll be involved from the very beginning.
Ron, I know
how do
you.
you assess how Cam played minicamp and OTS?
Say it again.
How do you assess how Cam played? How do you look at that?
Oh, I thought he did some really good things. I thought as we went along, it's not just about playing, but about the mental aspect of what he was doing out there and the things that he was saying and he talked about and he communicated. I think that's probably one of the more important things right now. Like I said when we first got started, I still believe he's got room to grow, and I think it's not just about his base fundamentals as an athlete, but his base fundamentals as a mental athlete, understanding the mental aspects of the game. And again, it's good to see. It's good to watch him make checks. It's good to watch him make decisions. It's good to watch him to discuss those things openly with his coaches on the field. That's all part of growing and continue to be a great quarterback in this league.
How do you think he has grown since the Super Bowl? You talked about the mental aspect.
I think he across the board. I mean, in every facet of from being a quality young man in society to being a great football player on the field. You just see it, and you see him work hard. You see him focus. You see him try to, do things. I mean, and he does things his way, and that's one of the things that that we as a football team know and appreciate as to who he is. And again, it really is about being yourself and being true to yourself.